Hey, what's happening, folks? Taxboy91 here, and I'm back with Week 5 of the NFL Power Rankings. A lot has changed within a week, so I'm going to go ahead and look at the list. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and mention I'm getting a lot of hate messages from Chief fans and Raven fans, and I'm not going to apologize in my position. I do not think the Ravens are good. I also think the Chiefs are good. I think they're frauds, and I'll tell you why the Chiefs might be frauds. If you guys watched that game that they played this weekend against the Giants, which I did, so don't come at me saying, you didn't watch the game, bro. Alex Smith was a monster. Everything Alex Smith threw was a 4 yard pass. Like, I don't understand why nobody can see that. A dude cannot throw a ball across the room and break the wall across it like Tom Brady or Peyton Manning. Well, Peyton Manning not so much anymore, what he used to, or Colin Kaepernick. Everything, everything Alex Smith throws are 4 yard passes, and it's kind of annoying to watch and boring to watch that game. So it does win, but it's not going to win in the playoffs. If you guys can reference back to Chad Pennington back when he played for the Dolphins in 2008, you will see that I'm correct with that statement. And the Ravens, I don't even got to say anything. Joe Flacco threw 5 interceptions. He got his money and didn't care anymore. He got kind of lazy. Kind of like Dirk back in 2011 after he won the championship, did not show up to play basketball. So I feel the same way it's happening to Joe Flacco. They're lucky to be 2-2 or wherever they are right now. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get into these this week's picks. Number one, or not picks, but this week's power ranking. We got the Broncos at number one right now. I'm fine with that. They showed that they can win at home and also win on the road. Even though they only played one road game, I believe they're going to Dallas this week, so that's gonna be a good game to watch. But they're number one right now, while the Seahawks dropped to number two. The reason the Seahawks dropped down to number two, of course, is because they played bad. Their offense played bad against the Texans. Their defense pretty much came back in the second half and helped them win that game. Richard Sherman with that pick six against Matt Schaub. So that dropped them lower because they're not good away from home, but they're going to probably be going back and forth. I do not see them losing a game at home, so they might be going between 1 and 2, depending on how the Broncos look this week. But Broncos, they look indestructible. Like, once they get Champ Bailey back and Von Miller, which is what everybody has been saying on Twitter or on blogs or on ESPN, they're going to be a nice team. But as long as their offense keeps outscoring their opponent, they're not going to. They really need a defense. The Saints back in 2010, I believe, when they won a Super Bowl, Drew Brees would just pretty much go out there and score more points than your offense or defense could stop you from doing, and all of a sudden you're in a 14-point ball game and you need to start throwing the ball, then their defense becomes good. So the Broncos are in the same category to where they're forcing you to throw the ball on in the second quarter while they're up 21-0. So being number one, I'm fine with. Seahawks being number two, I'm completely fine with. Now here's the one that's kind of tricky. It's the Saints. They're number three right now. They jumped up 3 spots from last week. And I'm trying to think. Oh, actually, they didn't jump up at all. They're the same as last week. That's crazy. All right, so number three right now. Actually, I don't mind that anymore. Then I thought they jumped up for number three or number six last week. They're number three right now. I don't mind that their defense has gotten a lot better. And the funny thing about it is the coach worshiping that we go through in the NFL, because we do not understand how the Saints are doing all this success or having all the success. We're basically giving all the credit to Sean Payton and giving all the credit to Rob Ryan, their defensive coordinator. And it's kind of funny because Rob Ryan got ran out of Dallas last year because his players got hurt. Now he's the savior, or he's the genius with the Saints. It's funny to me. I find it hilarious. Now everybody's saying the Saints are back to Sean Payton, even though their offense wasn't a problem last year. Their defense was the worst in NFL history. So I just find it really funny that the Saints are getting a lot of coach credit now that their team's playing well, even though they've been playing well since last year. It just was their defense that was struggling, giving up the most yards ever by a defense in this passing league. So number three is fine with me. They got a four-man pass rush, which is one of the most rarest things you get in the NFL. A lot of guys under the age of 25 getting to the quarterback, and that's kind of hard to stop. Tom Brady lost 2 Super Bowls to the Giants because they can produce a four-man pass rush, which is one of the most rare things you can have in the NFL, be able to get to the quarterback consistently. So number three is fine with me. I don't think that they can beat the Broncos or the Seahawks in Seattle, but if Seattle travels down to the Saints, it's going to be a good game to watch. I think their defense is just as good as the Saints' offense, so that'll be a good game to watch. Maybe we'll see that this year again, another rematch from the NFC wild card. Maybe the championship game more than likely this year. So I would want to see that matchup between the Seahawks and the Saints. All right, number four is the Patriots. They're looking a lot better now that they're getting on the same page. Kimbrel Tompkins, you guys have no idea who the hell he is, but he had a big game this past weekend against the Falcons. And once they get Gronkowski back and Mendola, their defense is nice. They took a huge blow when they lost Vince Wilfork to a torn Achilles, but their defense will keep on trucking. He's out there pretty much just to stop the run. and I believe that their defense has enough guys that they can throw in that spot to be good there. Plus, it's Tom Brady's their quarterback, and once he gets all his weapons back, or at least some of them back, he will be pretty much the same category as Drew Brees of the Saints, just throwing the ball and allowing his defense, who is really good, to keep Talib, has established himself as one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL right now, playing for a major contract. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they go out through the entire year, because they've been playing a soft schedule as of now, but it's going to be cool to see them maybe go undefeated later on down the year, because they're a really, really good team. They're only going to get better than they are right now. So number 4 is fine with me, and I thought they were fraudulent at first because they did play the Buccaneers and they played the Jets and the Bills, but now they beat the Falcons, who had a good offense. Defense was kind of not all the way there, but they did have a good performance out there. So I'm kind of believing the Patriots right now. Now we're back at the Chiefs. I know a lot of you guys are probably still mad at me for saying the Chiefs are fraudulent, but if you didn't watch that game, I'm telling you, everything was a 4-yard pass. And I don't understand why we're all getting all happy about Alex Smith. That's why he got traded to the Chiefs. That's why he wasn't 49ers quarterback, because he couldn't throw the ball deep. And that's not going to win you playoff games. Like you saw Joe Flacco last year. If he kept, or Peyton Manning for a better example, it'll get you to the regular season throwing the ball short, or get you out of the regular season throwing the ball short, but when you get to the postseason, when teams have a week to game plan, like a long week to game plan for you, you're not going to actually be successful doing that. So I'm hoping that Alex Smith proves me wrong. Maybe, I don't know. I don't think he's going to. And starts throwing the ball to Dwayne Bowe deep. Otherwise, they're going to pretty much get bounced out of the playoffs super, super quick and be right in that middle of the road area with like a 20th round draft pick, getting a skill position that they don't really need right now. But their defense is legit, though. Their defense is really, really good. I can say that about the Chiefs. That's one positive for you Chief fans out there. All right, so the Colts jumped up to the number 6 spot. They were number 9 last week. They played the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I don't know why they had that big of a jump. The Jaguars are barely an NFL team. I don't think that a college team could beat them, so I don't want to hear that in the comment section. But they shouldn't have jumped up 3 spots. That's kind of crazy to me. If I should say the same, the Jacksonville Jaguars aren't that good of a team. That's kind of just a gimme or a free win, and I don't understand that. But they do look good on their offense. Trent Richardson is not pretty much doing what everybody expected him to do, which is get a lot of yards. But he's a solid back. Like, that's not a bad trade. A first round pick for a first round pick, it's not a bad trade at all. And he gives them what they need, which is a running back that has hands. He's healthy, and he can provide that power run, which is what they want to go with. So now the Dolphins are at 7. They stayed the same, which I don't mind at all. They are good, but they ran into a better team when they played the Saints. That was just a bad game. Ryan Tannehill is a really good quarterback, or not really good, but he's just a good quarterback, and he's going to get better. He has a higher ceiling than anybody in the NFL because he didn't play quarterback his entire life. He was a wide receiver at Texas A&M, and so that means that he has a good ceiling and some good potential to be a good quarterback because he hasn't played it long at all. So I do have faith in him getting better. But he had to stop turning the ball over. That was just a bad game to watch if you're a Dolphin fan. But don't be discouraged. You're 3-1. If you win to the season, you wouldn't expect them to start out 3-1 this season. So have faith in your team. They will get better. And once their defense gets Cameron Wake back, and they should be getting a good 4-man pass rush. The only issue I have with that team is that they don't have a secondary. Brett Grimes is good, but he can't be over 5'9". Like, he has to be like 5'6", 5'7". So that's not a good cornerback to have trying to guard these big receivers. Marcus Colston took him to town, and so did Jimmy Graham. So I'm hoping they're probably going to beat the Ravens next week. I believe they play in Miami, so that's going to be a good game to watch. They might be going 4-1 into the bye week, but I wouldn't be surprised if they lose that game after that devastating loss against the Saints. So be cautious of that. But the Dolphins are going to be good this season. They're not going to be better than the Patriots, but they're going to be good this season. All right, number 8, we have the 49ers, who are sitting at 2-2, who pretty much fell off everybody's Super Bowl prediction so far. They're going to get better. Of course, that they stopped running the read option. I don't know why they stopped doing that, but they're letting Colin Kaepernick pretty much throw the ball to a bunch of receivers that aren't there. Manningham's not back, I don't believe. He's still got the injury to Crabtree, and then Anquan Bolden is not as good as he once was, but he can still catch the ball. He just can't create separation as he once could, so... But once they get their guys back and healthy and they start connecting with some of these younger receivers, they're going to be a nice team to watch. But I'm hoping they start running the ball a lot more with Kaepernick and Frank Gore, and occasionally finding his receivers, because without them, that team's just a middle-of-the-road team. And I don't want people to be like, oh, Alex Smith, look at this, look at the metrics. He's so much better than blah, 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 blah. Like, no, I don't want to hear that. Kaepernick's so much better than Alex Smith right now. And I'm just bashing the Chiefs. But, hey, this is my opinion. This is my sports gas bag opinion. So don't get all mad at me unless... Actually, I don't even really care anymore. All right, so we got the Bears. They dropped 5 spot, which is kind of crazy. I do believe they probably should be higher than the Dolphins, but they got blown out by the Lions in the Lions Stadium. So I don't know why they're dropping that far for losing to a home team, but they did. Jay Cutler did look bad to that game. So he had like 4 turnovers, I think, 3 interceptions and a fumble. So I don't think that they should drop that far. They should be probably higher than the Dolphins, I mean higher than the 49ers because they're sitting at 3-1, and they do got a team coming in this week that they're probably going to beat. I'm not sure, I think it's the Saints. I think they're playing the Saints in Chicago, so that's going to be a good game to watch. But I think the Bears are good. Jay Cutler just had one of those Jay Cutler games. I do think that he will get better than that, but hey, we'll see what happens throughout the season. They started out hot last year, then they petered out towards the end and didn't make the playoffs. So I'm hoping that they can pick up the slack. I do like watching the Chicago Bears play, and I do like their defense a lot. So I'm hoping they can have some success this year. And then the Lions, who I thought should have been a top 10 or at least like top 15, I think last week finally broke it to number 10 now. And if they get Reggie Bush healthy throughout the entire season with their defense and Calvin Johnson, they're gonna be tough to beat. Like Reggie Bush just looked like a video game. Reggie Bush, he just looked crazy, jumping over people, playing all types of crazy. Like it was just ridiculous. Like it was fun to watch. I don't know why Miami got rid of him. That dude looks like he is still 1,000 yard back, and he's gonna be proving it up there with the Detroit Lions. And their defense is legit. I just do not have faith in their secondary. But their front four is nice. Nick Fairley, you got Ndamukong Suh, who may be a dirty player, but he is a beast in that middle. So if they can stay healthy and they can pretty much outscore their opponent, they're going to be a nice team to watch in the NFC North. And it's funny because everybody NFC North, you think of the Packers when you think of the Bears and the Lions, and the Packers are number 12 because they don't really have the defense that both those teams have, but they're pretty good on offense. So that's going to be fun to watch that division play out this season. All right, so Bengals are number 11. They should probably be like down. They lost to the Browns. The Browns really were trying to tank this season, and it did not work out. They are 2-2, sitting at top of the division in the NFC North, I believe. So it's kind of funny to see that happen. That the Browns were trying to tank, and then all of a sudden the Bengals decided not to be legit this season. Andy Dalton looked pretty bad. He couldn't find his receiver with AJ Green that game. It was just a bad game to watch. So Bengals being number 11 is warranted. Packers being number 12 is warranted. They didn't play last week, so they stayed the same. The Titans did have a big blow losing Jake Locker, but they will probably get. I don't know. Ryan Fitzpatrick's kind of iffy because I don't think that he's going to provide them with a good viable option long term. But we'll never know. We'll see. But out for 4 to 5 weeks. I'm hoping the Titans can stay where they are and keep getting better because they're a fun team to watch. I like their defense. They got a nice defense. They made Geno Smith look like a rookie, even though I know he's a rookie, but they made him look like just a bad rookie. So they're a good team. Ravens 14. It should be lower than I don't know. Texans and Ravens are right where they should be. They're both middle of the road teams. Texas does not look impressive at all. Matt Schaub made a bunch of mistakes. He is not the most liked man down here in Texas. People are doing. I heard a conversation and people were mad about it. Like, what would you rather have, Matt Schaub or Tony Romo? And it was just like a tough question to ask. So I don't mind them being where they are. They pretty much warrant that spot, and right there, we're going to go ahead and cut it off. Everybody else is pretty much expected where they expect to be, so I don't really mind that so far. Jaguars are the worst team in the NFL, right behind the Bucks, or followed by the Bucks, I should say. So that is this week's power rankings. If you guys feel like I disrespect your team, let me know in the comment section below, and I might reply back to you. We'll see you though. And once again, I'm out this mother bleeper. Peace. Oh yeah. The Chiefs suck.